The UK is returning back to peacekeeping operations for the first time in quite a while. So we've been here, the UK, in MINUSMA for the last 12 months. And this is the second rotation, the second time we've deployed a 250 strong force out to being part of MINUSMA. So the speciality of the Long Range Reconnaissance Group is, as the name might suggest, the ability to go long distances, to stay deployed for a long time, and to provide reconnaissance for the force commander and the special representative for the Secretary General. But it's not just reconnaissance, it's also to act as well. And so as a force, we move long distances from our base in Gao. We stay on the ground for long periods of time and not only find and understand the situation, but also act to protect civilians as well.
The Long Range Recce Group is the British contribution to the UN mission in Mali. It is formed of various different elements, but primarily it is vehicle platforms that allow us to go further into areas where previously there hasn't been much host nation security forces. So there's a couple of elements here for the Long Range Recce Group. It's the distance, but also the duration that we're able to go out. And these are unique selling points that allow us to help the people of Mali by understanding their security issues and then feeding that back into the UN so that we may better able to tailor a security solution for them.
Le contingent anglais a sécurisé la zone pour rassurer et protéger. Et après quelques jours, on a eu l'équipe Droits de l'Homme qui sont venus faire leur investigation au terrain. Alors nous, on a pu faire de la sécurité pour eux, pour essayer de gérer leur sécurité pendant qu'ils faisaient leur investigation.
Because we'd had so much time on the ground with subject matter experts such as the humanitarian investigators and the UN poll, we're able to apply that knowledge in various different ways. And one of them is bringing further experts down here. Now, it is certainly in the wake of the events right now of the 8th of August attacks, and a number of families have left the area. Up to 200 families have left. And what we're trying to understand is the state of people coming back. So those internally displaced people returning to their residence and trying to understand what conditions they need to have come back, and thereby better, again, tailoring our response as MINUSMA and the UN to support them in that return to normalcy.
En ce moment, c'est très important d'avoir de l'eau. C'est très important d'avoir, comme on dit, le shelter, c'est comme les maisons. Et c'est important d'avoir la nourriture parce qu'en ce moment, il y a beaucoup de déplacés dans la région. Après l'attaque le 8 août, il y a beaucoup de déplacés et on cherche pour les projets d'améliorer la situation pour les déplacés, mais aussi pour le retour de déplacés à les points d'origine.
The role of the LRRG is to get into the spaces where there's no one else, and whilst we're there, provide some security. So in that area between Ansongo, where FAMA have their base, and down in Labezzanga, the same, where there are gendarmes and Malian armed forces, we can move the villages at the greatest range between those two bases and provide some security for weeks at a time. So this is one of the capabilities, I think, that we would say is part of what's needed by a modern peacekeeping force. The idea that a UN peacekeeping mission was standing on a wall between two armed groups, I think, is in the past. And a modern peacekeeping mission needs things like drones, it needs reconnaissance. These are not very high-tech capabilities, but for us they allow us to see beyond the horizon, seeing what's happening 20 or 30 kilometres away, importantly protecting civilians over a wider range. So whilst these capabilities were once high-tech, they're now something that can really be used at quite a low level. And each of my companies, which are about 100 people, have one drone each that they can use to cover large distances. So it's a really critical capability for us.
We are responsible to ourselves, but also where we are, to provide security for those civilians. And therefore it's incumbent upon us to understand the security situation on the ground and then be able to react if the situation demands it.
I think it's really good because obviously we get experience on operational tours, and we also come out to help the UN, help this country, and see a different scope of the world that we wouldn't see normally in the UK. We've had multiple reports, especially from them themselves, saying that they feel safer when we're here, because when we're here, the bandits and the insurgency groups will not come, because we've got the UN flag, we're safe, we're giving them protection.
I think there's something about British Army soldiers that they want to be doing their job, they want to be on the ground, they want to patrol. After we've been out on patrol for 3 or 4 weeks, we'll come back into camp, and within 2 weeks we've fixed the vehicles ready to go out again. But within a week, the soldiers want to go back out on the ground. For them, they've come to Mali for 6 months, so they don't want to spend that 6 months sat in a camp. They want to spend it out here in the Malian countryside, meeting the people. And you're right, they are young, but they are out here for an amazing experience to help Malian people, many of whom are young as well.
It was a childhood dream that I had, that I always wanted to join the infantry particularly. A lot of my friends back home said that you can't join infantry because it's all men. And I said to them, watch me, it's now open to women, so I'm going to join and I'm going to complete the training. And here I am, I've done it, completed it, and I'm out in Mali now on operation.
As a soldier, I'm here to do a job, whether it's male or female. So that's all I see it as. It doesn't matter whether I'm male or female. Not every day is the same. It's different every day, so you'll find one job one day, the next day have similar symptoms, but it's a totally different fault.
It's absolutely critical for us to have women involved in peacekeeping as well, and it does several things for us. Firstly, it means we can speak with men and women equally whilst we're out on patrol. We have no specific female teams in our force. What we have is women throughout the force. And that means everywhere we go, we can talk to men, we can talk to women, we can talk to children. And what we found is that having infantry soldiers that are women is great for breaking down barriers, for understanding the problems that you just don't get in a country like this where there's been a problem with fighting and violence. And therefore men can sometimes seem intimidating.
MINUSMA has elements from across the world, and there are many troop contributing nations, and I think the overwhelming feel is pride to be part of that. We are here to protect civilians, and we're here for peacekeeping.